Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. Happy Wednesday. We're midweek already. That fast. The days are just flying by. And it's just so amazing how fast the days are going by. We're almost, Jesus, we're approaching a new year. Even though it's a couple months away, but still, it's just going by so fast. But as I'm working over here, I'm taking a break from work, so I want to chit chat for a little bit. And I want to chit chat about the stuff that I was just thinking about. And two of the most important things that I was just thinking about right now was truth, honesty, and respect. These are two very important topics that I do want to touch base on for the simple fact that I feel like this is what many people are lacking. I've seen this like growing up, and it's just something that became so normalized that nobody sees anything wrong with it, right? As far as being honest, it is very tough for somebody to be honest, especially when we live in like a lie, pretty much. We are conditioned to believe everything that is said on TV or everything that is said by a news reporter or just anything that we're told. We're conditioned to believe everything when in reality it should be the opposite. We shouldn't believe everything we're told. We should do a research with everything that we're told, and we should ask questions just to have a clearer picture on things. So as far as being truthful, sorry, mama. I hit you? Sorry, baby. My dogs are keeping me company. Um, as far as being truthful, like the honesty, many people expect you to be honest, but when you're honest, it kind of makes the relationship a little awkward afterwards. People start acting a little funny afterwards because they can't really accept the honest, like the truth. And it's unfortunately because now what I have been seeing that it's been like accepted from people to say a beautiful lie than to say a painful truth, because we understand that the truth can be painful, but it's something that if it has to be told, then might as well let somebody know when they're doing something wrong or when they're asking you for your opinion. I mean, it's only right for you to be honest with them, but it's unfortunately that when you're honest, they kind of pull away. They start treating you a little differently because now they're offended behind you being honest. So, with saying that, a lot of people tend to lie and just so they won't hurt the other person's feelings. And that's the wrong way to go about things. Like, I don't feel like you should lie to try to make somebody feel good about themselves, or you should lie about any circumstances. You should always be truthful. Of course, a lot of it has to do with you relaying the message appropriately, because you're not going to be honest and you're going to be rude, or because you shouldn't sound rude or you shouldn't sound disrespectful. If you're going to be saying the truth, you should at least say it respectfully, and be able to relay your message across appropriately, because at the end of the day, we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, because we don't know what people are going through. We don't know what people go through on a daily basis. Just because we may be fine doesn't mean that the next person next to us is going to be fine as well. So honesty is very crucial. I feel like more people should start implementing being honest more. Again, it's just about knowing how to relay your message. Yes, it might cause some type of, I don't know, animosity between two people or whoever the truth is being told to, but you need that, because we need to start putting people on check when they're doing something wrong. This is why the society keeps going. This is why the society is the way they are now, because everybody wants to sugarcoat everything, and honestly, nothing should be sugarcoated. We should be confident enough to be able to express ourselves in a manner that's not going to be offensive, and there's nothing wrong with that. you know so I feel like honesty should come back, and people should stop beating around the bush, you know and again, just know how to relay your message. As far as respect goes, respect is something that everybody wants. Everybody wants respect. You know, as a child, I remember I was always told you have to respect your elders, and which I totally agree with that, because you should respect everybody you come in contact with, right? It only makes sense. Um, but we should also teach our kids that they should be respected as well. Like an older person has to respect the child. It's not right because a child is a child that an older person is going to talk down to the child disrespectfully. The child has to be taught that they have the right to speak up for themselves. Of course, the way that they speak up for themselves is going to all depend on how the family, the parents, the adults around the kids, express themselves on a daily basis, because the kids are learning from whoever they're around. So this is why I always stress we have to lead by example. So the last thing we want is for a child to be disrespectful because they feel disrespected. The most important thing to teach a child is to allow to be honest with the person that disrespected you in a polite way. Let them know that what they just did, what they just said to you, it offended you, it made you feel uncomfortable, and you just asking them to stop, to do whatever it is that triggered your emotions to feel uncomfortable. You have all the right as a child to be able to express yourself and tell somebody to stop or whatever it is, but just make sure that as a child you're relaying your message appropriately. So parents, we have to start allowing our kids to pretty much speak up for themselves. This is what allows them to start building that confidence. It allows them to start developing the way that they speak. And this is very crucial for our society, because we need more kids to question things and not just to follow the crowd. We don't want followers. We want leaders. We want people, kids at that, to start thinking for themselves, to start being different, to be themselves, actually. And even if they get made fun of, like, we have to teach our kids that you're going to go through certain situations where probably other kids are going to make fun of you because you're not doing what they're doing, or you're not, stooping down to their level. No, we have to teach our kids to be the bigger person. We have to teach our kids that, we're going to hear things that are going to be hurtful. Just disregard these things, because these are coming from kids that clearly need help themselves. These kids are somewhat looking for attention, or they just want to fit into a crowd, a cool crowd that they call it. The cool crowds really don't do anything special, and you really don't want to get involved into no cool crowd. You want to get involved with a crowd that wants to do better with themselves, for their future, who's thinking about their future, who's thinking about becoming a better person. That's the crowd. If you want to get with any crowd, you want to get with the crowd that's ambitious, with the crowd that wants to do things with their lives, not a crowd that just wants to sit around in a corner, just drinking, smoking, partying, because you get nothing out of that. So we have to teach our kids this. And again, leading by example speaks volumes. I know it's easier said than done, but it can be done. You know, again, nothing good comes out of that. And all a child just wants when they're young is attention. They're seeking attention. So when they don't get this attention from the house, they start seeking it outside of home. And outside of home, we already know what's outside of home. Things that pretty much is going to get them in trouble, get them caught up with something, and get who knows, right? We don't want them to go to the streets and look for attention in the streets. So we have to start showing our kids more attention, as far as, not allowing them to feel like they're neglected or feel like the black sheep or something, because sometimes some families have like 3 kids, 4 kids. So you have to try to treat all of them equally, even though it is tough because the different ages require different attention. So It is tough, but remember that it's always a choice that we take as parents. So it's something we have to learn how to balance for the sake of our kids. At the end of the day, like once you have kids, I feel like everything has to be based on your child. That's just my opinion. And yes, so that's it. That's all I wanted to mention. I just wanted to mention about the honesty and the respect. You know, it both comes a long way. The way you carry yourself, you can't expect to be respected if you're not carrying yourself respectfully. You know, there's a lot of people walking out around wanting that respect, but yet they're not respecting themselves. So people do see this, you know, and I understand depression is something that can affect us. You know, it I can speak from experience, you know. I was depressed at one point, like really depressed, and I didn't know how to really figure out anything at the moment because I was so depressed. And when we're depressed, we can't really think straight. And I have to mention that nobody is born depressed. Depressed is something that's thrown at us. We are conditioned to be depressed because of everything that we see on a on a daily basis, whether it's arguments, fights, or stuff on the news or things on the street. It's so much that can trigger us to be depressed. You know, things that maybe breakups that we may have gone through. All these different situations add up to the depression. And so sometimes when you're depressed, your mental state is not there, right? So you tend to forgive a lot of things that you wouldn't forgive when you would be on your right state of mind. So that's another thing that I do want to stress, man. As far as like, we never know what anybody is going through. That is why I always stick to the, if you have nothing nice to say, just keep your mouth closed. You know, like there's no need for you to say anything. Like, I don't understand why people feel the need to always give their 2 cents when they don't even understand what the other person may be going through. You know, so it's always best to just keep your mouth quiet if you have nothing else nice to say. And again, like what we're lacking in this world is love, is compassion, is empathy. That's what we're lacking in this world. This world, so many people have been through so much that they're reacting out of anger, and that is what continues to affect us, and then it becomes a cycle. The cycle, these parents are still acting out of anger. They treat the kids, you know, all angry and stuff. So much chaos going on in the house. The kids grow up, they have kids, they treat the kids. It's the same cycle repeating itself over and over again. Somebody has to put a stop to it and be like, you know what, I don't want to do the same thing that I went through. I don't want to my child to experience the same thing that I experienced, you know. So I want to start involving myself more with my child so I can teach my child what's really important. Because again, like I said, it's a cycle that we keep going. We keep repeating this same cycle. So we have to start stepping up and teaching our kids better, you know. And that's pretty much it. And aside from that, I really want to thank everybody who's been reaching out, who's been commenting, who's been assisting me with the religion, with information. I really appreciate it. It's making things a bit easier for me to search. And I am learning so much thanks to you guys. And I continue on learning because I do want to be more knowledgeable with the religion myself and everything. I have been reading, and for the past 3 months, everything has been nothing but amazing. And as far as the Ramadan went, it was so beautiful. It was a great experience, and that is something I will be talking about in a few days because I do want to share my experience with Ramadan, and that is something that allow me to create other marvelous, like marvelous habits that are really helping me as we speak. So thank you again, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, may you all be safe, stay blessed, and I love you. Adios.